Welcome, acolytes. Today I am reacting to Ref Says Tissue. Normal people react to Starblade censorship concerns. And what the F... Sorry about that. What the fuck? Which censorship? Why? And who had this idea? I hope this is just pure bollocks. Because, like, come on, it's freaking... It's not a high quality freaking... It's fucking Stellar Blade. This is the charm of it. Let's just say it like that. If they censor themselves for some ungodly... Like, why? You actually got people, actual fans... No, I'm gonna wait before I hear it. Because I'm already... I'm sorry about the voice. I have a frog in my throat. A frog, as we say in Germany. I don't even know if you say it in your parts, but we say we have a frog, and we don't mean a Frenchman. Starblade, yes, I hope this isn't as I hope it's not, and let's just start and hope that it's not as it is. I'm just really, god damn it. Okay, good. Let's just start, and if you like my content, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, press the notification button. You know the stuff.
Now, many bad actors on Twitter, whether it's regular users, game journalists, or content creators, have been using this opportunity to not only justify but also celebrate these acts of censorship because it fulfills their own agendas. And this has gotten to a...
Oh, I didn't start from the start. Sorry about that. So,
hey, what's up, guys? Right here. So yesterday we got the official release of Stellar Blade, and the main topic of conversation that has stemmed out of that is the various aspects of the game that have been censored. Now, many bad actors on Twitter, whether it's regular users, game journalists, or content creators, have been using this opportunity to not only justify but also celebrate these acts of censorship because it fulfills their own agendas.
Oh, so it's even true. What the... Okay, what kind of...
And this has gotten to a very toxic point where now we are seeing literal bounties put on people's heads for simply pointing out the censorship of Stellar Blade. This is how bad and
effing wait. What the fuck? It's getting even sick. Literal bounties for bullying people. And we're okay with that. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I hope, like Elon Musk, if for some reason you actually hear my freaking little nonsensical voice, ban those people. Because this isn't ethical at all. Like, I mean, it's maybe not against the rules, but come on, this is not even free speech. This is freaking bestial. Giving money for shit. Like, oh my god.
On how unhinged all of this
unethical
has truly gotten. Now, if you want the full details on what is actually being censored, you can check out my video from yesterday. But to sum up the entire acts of censorship very quickly, there was a promise by Shift Up only days before release that this game would be released uncensored. However, quickly after it was released, we'd see graffiti censored out of the game, we would see blood get censored, and we would even see the outfits being censored. And to explain the...
What the F? Really? Okay, just so you know my personal stance on it. I actually like... I like if the woman just dresses a bit more, let's just say, modest in quotes. I personally prefer this. Why? Because it's more of a innocence thing where I just say, yeah, okay, I prefer that. But do I think it's correct? No, because this game wasn't about it. And even if I prefer it, doesn't mean that it's correct. And I personally, just because I prefer something like in a certain way, doesn't mean it's the thing that should be done. And this is just bullshit. This is pure and utter bullshit. Why would you do that? Especially like the graffiti, even the graffiti. Why? What's the point of that? What the F? Really? That's such nonsense. Why? I don't. Okay.
Confusion surrounding some of these various outfits. This is the uncensored release that was on the physical copy that was unpatched. However, there was a day one patch that censored this outfit, and this same patch was already installed on the digital reviewer's copy that was released about a week ago. So this has been censored for quite some time, and it was done at the last minute. And in fact, since then we've seen other outfits be confirmed as censored as well. And this is something that has been confirmed by the director of Shift Up himself. And a lot of people have been critical of Sony and the potential influence they had on this censorship, and also the weird disparity between how they are censoring Stellar Blade versus other games that they publish that are much, much more obscene or just dark or sexual, what have you. Now, there's been many reactions.
For now, it's probably too late. But if something like this happens, give the game back. If you, for fuck's sake, can, demand your money back. Give them more freaking shit than the other side ever could. Because you cannot actually, like, I am through with it. Let's just say this. I am actually not a fan of bullying. But the problem with this is, those people don't react to anything else. They don't react to logic. You get so much positive feedback for this stuff, and then you just fuck the players over. And I mean, the thing was, the positive feedback was logical. Okay, it made sense. People want this. This is fine. And then you freaking hear a minority that probably doesn't play your game anyway, and just fuck the entire thing up. Why? What's the thinking behind this? This doesn't make sense. But if you don't react to sense, then just react to bullying. I just don't see an option. And I don't even want that. I hate bullying. Bullying is bad. But we as actually normal people try to talk reasonably with those people, with the firms, and it just doesn't work. And if reason doesn't work, at some point, you either just, what I would prefer, just cut the entire thing off out of your life. Don't even try to do something with it. Just say, okay, it's done. It's not what I want. I want my money back. This isn't what got actually promoted. Give me my money back. This is what I would prefer. This won't happen. So what's the second thing that they actually react to? Bullying. So I think we just need some unstable individuals that just do it the same way that the other side does it. Because clearly it works, and it's the only thing that works. And if reason doesn't work, well, we have to defend ourselves somehow. And the somehow should be that you just demand your money back, but this won't happen. So the other thing, just do the same thing that's proven to work. And that's sadly bullying. And of course, I don't want that. I honestly don't want it, but I also don't see any other freaking way of this of things working out. It's just not an option by now.
Reactions to what's going on with this situation, and a lot of people are trying to fix it. There is a big push, including petitions like this that I'll link in the description. They're trying to get Shift Up and Sony to restore what they took away, to undo this censorship and restore what people were promised with these uncensored releases. However, a lot of people, including some bad actors, have been trying to basically misrepresent what is going on and what people are actually complaining about. And what we're going to look at in this video, whether it's from game journalists, content creators, or Twitter users, is going to follow the narcissist prayer. Basically, you can see the evolution of someone trying to deflect blame, starting with
that didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that was not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't meant it. And if I did, you deserved it. Yes, that's a narcissist prayer. Yep.
That didn't happen. And then ending with, well, it did happen and you deserved it. Now, we've been seeing this first part for a while. That didn't happen. We've seen people for really months at this point say over and over again, there's no censorship of Stellar Blade, this isn't happening. Well, now we have confirmation that it is happening, and people are readjusting and moving on to the next step, saying, and if it did happen, well, it wasn't that bad. And they're accomplishing that by trying to intentionally misrepresent what people are complaining about. So beginning with Alyssa, the Kotaku editor here, she says this is about pubic bones. Imagine growing up and learning this is what your dad was doing rather than having a catch with you. And since Alyssa has daily tweets crying about elder male figures, we all know this is just projection right here. But she's trying to say this is about pubic bones that are being censored with these updated outfits. Here's another tweet saying,
If you, Alyssa, your father didn't freaking do a second of something you actually need. Or did. He hated you, and I'm sure he... Okay, I'm getting personal here. Sorry about that. Shouldn't do that. That was a mistake. But she's still a bitch.
LOL, they're turning on Stellar Blade because they can't see her vagina. Here's another one saying the fact that the newest Stellar Blade talking point is that the usual crowd thinks removing the MC's camel toe is censorship should really tell you what their fixation has always been about. And down here you can see some replies to that original thread where someone says this: the fact that you think Shay is saying no one is allowed to be horny and not that fix isn't censorship, and the people complaining about the fix need to just admit that they want to be horny is very funny. These people are trying to claim that what's happening is not censorship when literally everything that's going on, all of the points we made earlier in the video, fit the definition of censorship to a T. Now, of course, all these people are misrepresenting what people are actually mad about and what they're complaining about. They were falsely advertised to. Okay, they were promised this would be an uncensored release, and now this game has been censored on multiple levels. Not just the outfits, but other aspects of the game that none of these people are acknowledging. And they are so desperate in their attempt to own the gamer chuds on Twitter that they will literally celebrate and excuse acts of censorship and false advertising. It's pathetic. But now we move on to the...
Yes, and you know why that is? Because they don't play it. They didn't get falsely advertised to. That's why they don't care. There is no principle behind it. There is only pure freaking greed from their side. And as long as they get what they want, they don't give a fuck about you. And that's just a nice little truth. And you know what? It's just disgusting in my opinion. It's just freaking disgusting. And the most disgusting thing is that that's legal. This shouldn't be in any case legal. This is just disgusting behavior. A product that went out wasn't as promised. If I learned Butcher, by the way, so if I made a freaking Wiener Würstchen, a wiener, and it would be full of freaking fiber, you would be freaking mad at me, wouldn't you? Okay, maybe it's a bit of a too big thing. Okay, if I made a wiener, told you that it's a nice small sausage that you can actually get in this freaking bread thing, and it's exactly the length and height and thickness that you need, and then I give you a 2 kilo thing on one like a circle, and just say no, here you can have that. The sausage doesn't fit in your freaking bread anymore. False advertisement. And if I did that as a butcher, you wouldn't buy it again. And this is how it should be. Or demand your money back. And you should get your money back if this is the case. Just as it is with Stellar Blade, for fuck's sake.
The next stage. Basically saying, well, even if this did happen, it's not a big deal. It's nothing to worry about. So here's an example of that coming from an artist from the gaming industry, someone who is consistently talking about Mark Kern, and they're doing so here with screenshots of his petition that is going around. And he says this: "Oh my God, please, I can't laugh anymore. My sides, my effing sides. Does this guy have kids? A family? Is there anything that feeds his soul in any way? I don't know, man. I'm so fascinating." He's trying to say, "I'm so fascinated by this level of sadness." Like, please work on your grammar.
Nah, I think he meant he's so fascinating. Like, the narcissistic tendencies these days are so high that I actually believe he didn't make a grammatical mistake in that case. He actually means it. Probably not, but I would instantly believe that that's the case, to be honest.
But anyways, this guy's trying to say that Mark Kern is a loser for caring about these things. It's...
Well, yes, and... Okay, no.
It's not very shocking that Mark Kern, a longtime member of the gaming industry and someone who is very passionate about this stuff, would care about censorship in the industry. But he's somehow a loser for calling this stuff out.
Yeah, and just... Can you recognize the hypocriticism? A freaking artist that cries on Twitter, and a lot of times, and he's just, "No, you're a loser, you're passionate about something," and it's just like so a bad faith argument. This is just so and it's also just disgusting behavior all around. This is just as expected.
But you're not a loser for tweeting about this guy daily. You look at this guy's account, every single day there's a round of tweets containing screenshots of Mark Kern's tweets, and he's complaining about him. It's every single day.
Obsessed stalker. Obsessed. Like,
There's absolutely no self-awareness. And also keep in mind, this is the same guy who, when confronted about the fact that Eastern character designs are typically more attractive than Western character,
which is true, and nobody can tell me otherwise,
designs, and asked, "How is this happening?" he responded with this: "Yeah, we can go to the fetishization of plastic, reductive, and hypersexualization of pixels after I'm done cleaning my bathroom from all the diarrhea I had today." And
very mentally stable person. Very mentally stable. Very, like, this is the person you should hear out. Like, if he says something out of God's words, God's mouth, like, directly.
And he also made this tweet when someone asked about, the prospect of him losing his job. And he said this: "I won't lose my job because I have many friends that I can, and also that he can give sexual favors to these people that will preserve his job." Very normal person, obviously. But in that original thread we just looked at here, another artist would ask this: "As an artist, you should be against censorship on principle." Where this artist replied saying, "Yeah, I am. I've had my own designs changed after release, or things goofed around with by other developers after we release them. I don't really get bent out of shape about it though. It's just a thing that happens." He doesn't care when his stuff gets censored or altered. It's just a thing that happens. Who cares? This dude made this...
Okay, let's see the alterations here. I see... Yeah, the only thing that happened is... Yet she looks just more feminine. What the fuck? The skin is just clear. The nose is... Yeah. It's like more smaller. It's... Okay. Dude, this isn't censorship. This is a change. This has nothing to do with censorship. Like, I personally, because I don't know, and I'm not gonna show her name or something like that, my artist that actually made my avatar, the SmilingLich you see, he was, by the way, I was called before I did the reaction stuff, I made gaming stuff, and I just recognized, okay, good, I'm gonna do this, and I changed my name. Before it was Graveseeker, written as it's in my email address if you want to see it. And if you go to ArtStation and actually type in Graveseeker, you will see my avatar as it is. And this artist, I thought that, hey, this looks a bit crooked and stuff could be a bit less. She was like, okay, good, I'm gonna change that. And she did a wonderful job. And I still changed because the phylactery that the SmilingLich has on him, yes, that says phylactery, one of the stupidest things you can do as a Lich. Actually bring your phylactery to you, take it with you. And it's just, it was red at the start. I didn't like it, so I said, hey, could you show me how it's green? And green just was, it was nearer to the necromancer theme. So, yeah, those are changes. This wasn't censorship. Nobody told her she can't do that. So, I don't get it. I just don't know. Yeah, okay.
Thread a week ago complaining about how some of his designs were altered when he was working for various gaming companies. And when describing his feelings about these alterations, he says, I was pissed about this. So you do care. This was made days.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. He actually cares. But as I said, it's not on principle, it's on purely selfish reasoning. So he's happy that this happens to someone he doesn't like. It's that simple. He's just like a freak, like a lot of narcissistic freaks that are actually that go around these days. And it's total narcissism. And that's just baffling to me.
Days ago. I don't know if these people have the memory of a goldfish or something, or they really are just lacking self-awareness to that degree.
Yep.
But these people are unbelievable hypocrites. There's nothing consistent about them whatsoever. And it's definitely expressed in interactions like this. We've seen other people here saying, holy shit, this is the single most embarrassing thing I've ever seen, referring to the petition, where Savvy makes a very good point. Do you support this as well? Are your views consistent? Talking about censorship of LGBT content from Saudi Arabia.
Damn good point. Very good point. But no, he doesn't give a fuck about that. Because that's actually a real problem. And if it's a real problem, nah, fam. Nah, fam. It's only if you can virtue single in a safe place where you actually don't get any consequences for your actions. Then the thing is important. But if it's not, doesn't give a fuck.
Now, of course, again, if you want to talk about embarrassing, this person refers to themselves as an it. I don't know, but let's move on to the next stage of the narcissist prayer. We're going on the stage of, well, if it did happen, well, it's not my fault. I'm not to blame for this. And we see this reflected in another tweet that Keith has made about Mark Kern. Keith has been riding Mark Kern like he's trying to win the Kentucky Derby, okay? He has been absolutely obsessed with him. Every single time Mark Kern takes a breath, this guy's fingers are already moving on the keyboard to make another tweet about him. It's actually insane. So he says this.
Damn, that's actually quite stalkerish, if I'm honest. That's actually sick. Like, is your time so worthless? Don't you have anything better to do with your life? What the fuck?
Grum's being shadow banned on a website that prides itself on free speech should tell you all there is to know about the guy as a person. This is also crazy behavior over some video game panties. I've heard nothing but positive things about Stellar Blade. Crazy grifting. Now, of course, once again, trying to misdirect what's actually happening here and what people are complaining about, but also this point about being shadow banned on Twitter as proof that you're a bad person or a stupid person. What are you talking about? You can literally drop a curse word on Twitter and you might get shadow banned for a month. It means absolutely nothing.
I don't know, but I take Rev's word for it. If it's that bad, then I mean bad. I mean, yeah, for dropping a curse word. Of course, it depends a bit on the context. If it's but I don't know.
To be shadow banned on Twitter. But in the replies, someone corrected him and said it's not about sexy outfits, it's about censorship. Where Keith replies saying, I can agree. I would rather no censorship be in place. But it's always that. I normally don't care about censorship. I don't want censorship to happen.
But if it benefits you, you want it in. It's that simple. There is no higher reasoning here. There is no reasoning at all here, to be honest. So, yeah.
Happen. But as soon as you hear the but, you know you're about to hear something really stupid. So he says, but complaining about seeing 40% titty instead of 50% titty is some incredibly weirdo shit to complain about. Like, you couldn't waterboard that info out of me. Now, of course, we've seen this sort of logic many times on Twitter with the Stellar Blade discourse. People saying, oh, you hate the censorship? Just go watch porn. Oh, you're so obsessed with these titties, you're a weirdo. And of course, you can reply with this absolutely golden interaction, basically saying your obsession with the anatomy of people, the fact that you can't see anything with a hint of sexuality without having like these compulsive thoughts, that's on you. Don't get mad at me because I can just look at something and not immediately have these crazy hyper reactions to the slightest bit of sexuality in a video game character. But moving on, someone asked the perfect question. Why change it if it doesn't matter? That pretty much can be asked of...
Yes! Why even think about it? If it doesn't matter, then why are you fighting for it? Then by your definition, you're actually fighting a freaking useless fight. What the fuck? Yeah.
All these people talking about the censorship. If this stuff doesn't matter, if these little things don't actually matter, then why would you change it in the first place? Where Keith replies saying, why are you asking me this? I have no control over it. Well, actually, you do have control over it. You have large accounts, and you've been supporting censorship of things.
I don't control. Yes, you have a bigger voice than any one of us. Like, I think if anyone that's actually watching me won't have as big of a Twitch presence as he does, and also not me because I'm still learning, and I'm way too small to actually for a lot of people to actually give a crap about it. That's just the reality of it. But like, come on, like
things you don't like. Of course you have control over it. You're supporting what's happening. You can actually raise your voice and try to do something to stop this censorship, but you don't want to because it doesn't fit your agenda.
Because
and we've seen people raise this who cares, right? With the Tomb Raider released recently by Crystal Dynamics, when they're removing these posters in the background. Small change, but why do it? And you see people saying, why do you guys care? Well, why do you care that they were there in the first place? Why'd you have to remove them? And in fact, talking about, what can I do? Well, people have complained about this, and guess what? They restored it. They went back on the censorship. So you can do something, you just don't want to. Even if it's hard, you can still point it out, even if it's something that you personally don't care for in a game.
Yes.
Without having to call...
Yes, I agree with him. I agree totally with him. And it's not even that I don't actually care about censorship in that case. But yes, you actually can do something against it. And just because I like the change, just because it's more of my taste, doesn't mean that it's a good change. It's not. It's a change that actually F's over the people that got promised something different. And that's the point. And even though I am a freaking, I am selfish, I'm gonna admit it, I am a bit of a selfish guy. I'm trying my best to be a good person in I'm just doing my best to actually do everything for my family that I can. And for the people that actually will, stay with me, every single one of you acolytes, if I can do something good, I mean, I entertain you, I think that's something already that I do in a way. Of course, I want... At some point, I want some money out of it. That's the greedy part. But right now, I'm getting nothing for it. Except for the happiness, for the pure thought that I actually entertain some people with it. And that's enough for me personally. And I probably will do it even 50 years from, or 50, I won't live that long, but a few years from now on, I'm still probably going to do it just because it's fun.
People weirdos or excuse censorship because it fits your agenda. But moving on, we are going to the next aspect of this, really the end. We're going to skip right to this last one saying, well, it did happen and you deserved it. Or, well, it did happen, but it's actually better. So we have a lot of tweets like this saying, if you actually saw a woman in real life, you'd realize that they actually made the outfit more attractive. First off, projection as usual.
Yes.
But here's
subjective also. It's of course a taste question, but still, just because you like it doesn't mean it's correct.
Here's the thing, okay? They're trying to say that this is actually better. Adding the black lace here behind the outfit is making it more attractive. First of all, that's your subjective opinion. Some people will agree with you, some people will disagree. While that is a subjective opinion, here is an objective fact. They advertised this game as something that was uncensored.
Yes.
They went off and censored this game. That is what people have an issue with. I don't understand why you're so obsessed with justifying this. Why are you intentionally missing the point so much to the point where you're celebrating these changes? These changes that go against promises. You're saying it's actually better. It's insane. And it's only based on your subjective view while you ignore the objective reality of what is wrong with this situation. And here's another one. We hinted at this earlier in the video. So Mark Kern was pointing out some of the outfits that were uncensored, and you can use them as a reference point to see what is being changed by the day one patch. And this user says, $20,000 to anyone that makes this dipshit disappear. And flat.
Oh, I misunderstood before. I actually read like $20 for something. Ooh, that's not nice. And I think it's liable, like you could actually get in trouble for this one. And if I'm honest, I hope you do. Because this is just purely unhinged. Like, what the F is wrong with you? And it's not even that it's like in a joking context. If this was a joke, like a well-made joke, I wouldn't care. If you actually place a joke really well, I personally don't even have really anything that I'm not gonna joke about, but the joke has to be tasteful, like just yeah. Let's just say the joke actually has to have some taste and not be like just a snark comment on what a lot of people think jokes are. But damn, like this, oof. No, this is bad. And I'm gonna be honest, I know what he will do. He will actually recognize that he effed up here, and he will delete his profile and his freaking comment. Like, by deleting his profile, he will automatically delete the comment. But bet you.
Ash here asked a question, isn't this a crime? And I will answer by saying yes. This is essentially trying to basically get a hit on someone. This is absolutely insane behavior.
Yep.
These are people making genuine threats to someone else on their life over calling out censorship.
And by the way, even if he does this, probably nothing will happen. But the thinking of it, that a person like that a person like that thinks that he has the moral high ground over you just because you like breasts. Think of, like, what the F?
Of a video game. That is happening, by the way. This is happening. It's not like this is some tinfoil hat conspiracy. These acts of censorship are actually happening, and you want someone game-ended over calling it out. And these are the normal people, right? And of course, realizing the severity of what they just said, this person would delete the tweet, private their account, and then eventually deactivate. And, good luck to you. Hopefully you don't catch any charges from this situation, because that is some very, very serious.
You know what? And he's a pussy for that. Gigantic pussy for that. Because all of what I said, this stays here. This will stay here except I really get in legal trouble. Then I'm gonna remove it. But like this stuff, like this is a total freaking pussyment. If you do something like that, at least stand your ground. Or at least say, okay, I was wrong about it, I learned it, that's fine. Just say you were wrong. And if I make a mistake, I will do the exact same. But if I don't think I did a mistake, but I still get for legal trouble, I will say it as it is. But don't just run away. This is like some pussy-ass stuff, like really. And it also depends, because not every time you actually just go back and go out of a situation, it's not always that you're a pussy about it. But in this specific case, yes, totally. He's a freaking coward.
Serious stuff that they were saying about Mark Kern. Now, that's going to do it for this video. That's where we're at with the reaction to the Stellar Blade censorship and how it's been called out. Like I've said over and over again, the visceral reaction to this stuff being called out is absolutely insane. You look to your left and you look to your right on Twitter and you see game journalists, users, and content creators and alike trying everything in their power to not only excuse but also celebrate these acts of censorship in Stellar Blade simply because it fits their agenda, and it's absolutely pathetic.
Yes.
And it should be called out
Pathetic and
whenever
disgusting.
it happens. But that's going to do it for this video.
Yeah, and as it is, acolytes, I hope you have fun. Please give me and Ref some love. And I mean, he has always has a lot of truth behind him. He actually researches his stuff. And by the way, I might not agree on everything with him, but hey, that's why actual normal human beings talk. I mean, I'm reacting to him, but he seems to be one of those that would normally talk with you before he actually does something unrash, unlike other creators. So yeah, good night, acolyte.